It's time to get rowdy with Rusty this week in wrestling on That Way Cool Wrestling Show Breakout.
Hello, everybody. It's time to get rowdy with Rusty once again on episode number 3 of That Way Cool Wrestling Show Breakout, brought to you by DJB Productions. This is your weekly recap of all the major stories in the world of professional wrestling. We start this week with Vice TV's Season 2 of Dark Side of the Ring, which is a 9-week series. On this week's show, it was episode 1, talking about the Chris Benoit murders. Nothing to report here different other than it seems like to me one thing that wasn't said in other reports about the murders in the past, as well as 10 years ago, is that prior to the murders, Chris Benoit began keeping a journal after Eddie Guerrero died, and that seemed to be a roadmap as to possibly what led to Chris Benoit doing this. But either way, whatever happened, it's a sad situation, and the show was really good, and I would encourage everybody to watch that. Each week is a different topic. Next week, they're going to talk about New Jack and his career, and specifically what led up to New Jack being arrested for the stabbing incident with an independent worker called Mass Transit many years ago. Switching over to WWE, according to my old buddy Mike Mooneyham from the Charleston Post and Courier newspaper wrestling column, WWE will air WrestleMania that has been taped this week. And if I can stop here and say, I'm going to institute a come on man moment. So this is the come on man moment. What the hell is this? You're going to tape your biggest show, put it in the can so that somebody can then try to spoil some of the spoilers, and then run it on April 4th and 5th in front of an empty arena. Come on, man. Why not just postpone the show till the virus is over and then run the show in front of the thousands of fans? This is not some run-of-the-mill ham and egg or pay-per-view. This is WrestleMania, for God's sakes. Lord Vince, come on, man. Also, Rey Mysterio, Dana Brooke, and Daniel Bryan have been quarantined. Hope this is not the virus sneaking in to the WWE. In other news, Roman Reigns took himself off the show for other sickness reasons. I don't know what that was, but I don't think it had anything to do with the virus in terms of him. According to Mike, the Hulk Hogan lawsuit has been settled with the website that ran the sex tape between Bubba the Love Sponge's ex-wife Heather, and Hulk Hogan for an undisclosed amount of money, and the website has been shut down. Get well soon, Rock and Roll Express member Ricky Morton, who reported this week that he is fighting a battle with Bell's palsy, the same condition that Jim Ross has had for a number of years. Switching over to AEW, Jim Ross, Excalibur, and Taz were missing from the show. Shivani and Kenny Omega opened the show. Cody was also there. Another empty arena show from Daly's Place in Jacksonville. It looks like they will be doing those AEW shows in front of no fans at Daly's Place in Jacksonville. And people have asked me, why is that the case? Well, the Khan family owns Daly's Place in Jacksonville, and they will continue to do the shows under the auspices of we want to be there to support our fans and provide programming, but TNT paid them millions of dollars till the year 2023 to do AEW. So that's the real reason. A friend says, if you follow the money trail, you'll always find the answer. Switching over to NXT, nothing really to report here other than Johnny Gargano and Masa Ciampa's feud continues. Triple H came in the ring called both of them to the ring. All three people were in the ring talking and fussing and fighting. Triple H basically said, I'm the boss here. I'm the one with the cojones, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Triple H, we know you're the son-in-law. Just shut up and get on with the angle. Anyway, so in 2 weeks, there's going to be another match between Ciampa and Gargano at a location that Triple H decides. He said no fans will be allowed, so apparently it either all has already been taped or will be taped. Anyway, no fans will be there, and supposedly Ciampa and Gargano will finish their feud. The only thing of notable stuff to report besides that from NXT is that they teased the Killer Cross coming to NXT. Now, if you remember correctly, if I can toot myself on the back or pat myself on the back and toot my own horn, toot, toot. I told you here 2 weeks ago that Killer Cross was leaving MLW and coming to the WWE. Well, it came to pass, so toot, toot. Good for me. Switching over to Impact. Nothing really to report here. The same old bland show. Probably wouldn't be on the network if Anthem, their parent company, didn't own Access TV. They bought Access TV so that Impact would have a home. We just see another, the continuation of the feud between Tyra Valkyrie and Michael Elgin versus Tessa Blanchard and Eddie Edwards. That feud continues, but other than that, nothing to report there. We switch over to MLW. Episode number 103 was taped again at the 2300 Arena in South Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, formerly the ECW Arena. A guy named Dominic Guarini dressed in a ridiculous karate outfit versus another guy in a mask. Guarini wins, but that's basically all that was reported there, all that's worth reporting there, except one note. They continue to push a match next week between Mance Warner and MJF, and since MJF just signed an exclusive deal with MLW, I can only assume that MJF will be doing, as we say, the JOB, as it is a loser leave the promotion type match. I forget what they call it, but basically that's what it is. And so I'm assuming MJF will lose simply because he is now full-time with AEW. Finally, to wrap this up this week, we'd like to send our thoughts and prayers out to my old buddy, fantastic Bobby Fulton and Tracy Smothers, both who are fighting cancer. Also, Bullet Barb Armstrong is fighting cancer. He has said that he is refusing treatment and will let whatever happens happen. Since Bullet Bob is now 80. I'd like to send out my condolences again to Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express as he continues to fight Bell's palsy. One final note, fans, for those of you that might remember Killer Tim Brooks from the 1970s and 80s, most notably in World Class Championship Wrestling days. Killer Tim Brooks has also been moved to hospice and doesn't have long to live. It's some type of cancer that wasn't disclosed. The other note here is, for those of you that might be wondering, Killer Tim Brooks was the cousin of Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch. But in any event, we send all our heartfelt prayers and condolences to all these people fighting health challenges, and we say get well soon. So keep them in your prayers. That's going to do it for me this week, fans. Thank you for joining us for That Way Cool Wrestling Show on the DJB Productions Network. Until next time, this is Rusty saying, keep pro wrestling alive, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you here next week.
Thank you for listening to That Way Cool Wrestling Show Breakout. We'll see you at the matches. Goodbye, everybody.